Katie Hoven,
and Allison Grace AK on
Ultraviolet Light.
Ultraviolet radiation is electromagnetic radiation that is invisible to the human eye. Its frequencies range from 8 times 10 to the 14th to 3 times 10 to the 16th in hertz, and has wavelengths from 380 to 10 nanometers. Discovery of UV light. In 1801, Johann Wilhelm Ritter studied the ultra-red findings of Friedrich Wilhelm Herschel. Ritter sought to discover light that surpassed the color violet on the electromagnetic spectrum. He exposed silver chloride, a light-sensitive material, to the colors of the visible spectrum through a glass prism, and noticed that the violet component of the visible spectrum prompted a more intense reaction from the silver chloride. Ritter pushed the silver chloride closer to the violet component and noticed an even more intense reaction on the silver chloride, even when there was no visible light. Due to this reaction taking place beyond the violet component of the visible spectrum, the light became known as ultraviolet.
Uses for UV. Ultraviolet light can disinfect sugar water and sun tea, kill viruses, tan lighter colored skin, sterilize surgical equipment, and when used in moderation can treat vitamin D deficiency and skin disorders. Interesting facts. Bees can see ultraviolet light. They use it to direct themselves to pollen when the UV radiation is reflected off of flower petals. Ultraviolet means beyond light, meaning beyond what we humans can see. It is also called black light because it is invisible.
Alright, an ultraviolet light has a frequency of 2 times 10 to the 15th hertz going at the speed of light. What is its wavelength? So we have our equation, which is c, the speed of light, equals lambda, which is the wavelength, times f, which is the frequency. So we can fill in what we know. 3 times 10 to the 8th equals 2 times 10 to the 15th lambda. Now we can isolate that lambda, so it'll now be 3 times 10 to the 8th over 2 times 10 to the 15th, which equals 1.5 times 10 to the negative 7th. So our wavelength is 1.5 times 10 to the negative 7th in meters. Okay, this one says an ultraviolet light has a wavelength of 270 nanometers going at the speed of light. What is its frequency? So we can use the same equation, c equals lambda times f, which would mean the speed of light equals the wavelength times the frequency. Now we can fill in what we know again, where we can do 3 times 10 to the 8th equals 2.7 times 10 to the negative 7 f. Now that 2.7 times 10 to the negative 7 is just the converted version of nanometers to meters. Now then we can isolate that f, so it'll be 3 times 10 to the 8th over 2.7 times 10 to the negative 7th, which equals 1.11 times 10 to the 15th, which is your answer in hertz. In truth, you've already been exposed to these UV rays. And how do we know this? Well, have you ever had a sunburn? You know, when you're exposed to the sun so much that your skin begins to peel and even change colors. For some, it might turn red. For others, it might just get even darker and start flaking off. Well, that's as a result of too much exposure to these UV rays. And if you know anybody that has skin cancer or you yourself have skin cancer, well, that also is possibly a effect of being exposed to too many UV rays. If you tan, if you choose to darken your skin artificially, they do utilize those UV rays. So you've probably been exposed to it before. Check your sunscreen. On the bottle, it should confirm that it can successfully protect you from certain UV rays because they're very harmful when exposed to in excess. So, our advice, make sure you wear your sunscreen and protect yourself from those rays.
Thank you for watching.
We hope you enjoyed and stay safe. These are the resources that we used: a website, another website, a book, another book, one more website, and the final one. So we had 4 websites in total and 2 books. We hope this is satisfactory, and we can't wait until next project.